And he saw the vision splendid of the sunlit plains extended, and at night the wondrous glories of the everlasting stars. When Banjo Patterson, our great Aussie poet, wrote these words for Clancy of the Overflow, he seemed to have had a vision. Banjo had a vision of this wide brown land that he called home, and he captured that vision in the words of that great poem. Vision is so important, especially in the life and the history of our church. It's our sense of vision that enables us perhaps to look beyond what is happening and see a new way of bringing the kingdom of God to birth in our world. There are so many people who have been a part of the history of our church that have been gifted with such vision. They saw and they set out to change what they saw happening. People like our own Mary McKillop, Mary of the Cross, who had seen a different way to respond to the needs of the young people of her time. And then she set about to change her world. Mary had a vision, and then Mary acted. And it was by her choosing to make a difference that she did indeed make a difference. Today she is our first saint. But there have been others who seem to also have been gifted with vision. People who have had the ability to see what is happening and then find another way to respond to the situation that they have encountered. Pope Francis is such a visionary. He has seen what is happening in the world and he has set out somehow to change the world. Whether it be the plight of the environment about which he has spoken, that's so very much in need of our care, or the crisis of refugees across our world, who are also very much in need of a human and a humane response to their plight. Pope Francis has seen all of this in the world, and he's endeavoured to make a difference by all that he has said and all that he has written. So Pope Francis too is a visionary. This gift of vision, of seeing something different from those around him and then choosing to respond to that situation, may have begun way, way back when Jesus walked the earth. He was indeed a visionary, and perhaps the greatest of visionaries. His disciples, though, seem to have lacked that vision to see beyond what was happening in front of them. When those 5,000 men gathered to listen to Jesus, the disciples saw a problem. It was impossible to satisfy the needs of such a crowd, especially with only 5 loaves and 2 small fish. What's that among so many? So send them away, they said. But Jesus had a vision. He saw another way. He saw a way to respond to the situation in which he and his disciples had found themselves. Jesus had seen not what was impossible, but rather what had been possible because of the abundance of God. From the so little that he had available to him, Jesus set about to feed those 5,000 people who had gathered in that lonely place. This gift of vision, this ability to see what is impossible and then to find a solution to endeavour to make the impossible possible, is so necessary in the life and the history of our church. Mary McKillop certainly did it in her life. Pope Francis also has endeavoured to see the possible in the impossible. And so it is with all of us. There may be people today who, like those early disciples, really cannot see the way to change our world, the world in which we live, because it's just too impossible. But that abundance of God that Jesus used in his life and ministry hasn't diminished from this world in which we live. The ability of Jesus to see the impossible, to see the possible in the impossible, and then to act, is very much at the heart of our lives as people of faith today. With the power of God's Spirit in our lives, we too can endeavour to see what is possible, even in the impossible. and then choose to act. God has gifted us with the ability to see things differently, perhaps to dream dreams about what can be possible, because we have the gifts and the talents to make things happen. As you are aware, our parish at this time is moving towards the possibility of developing even further the particular ministries so necessary for the life of our church and its people. By opening ourselves to the power of that Spirit of God in our lives, we can begin to see what is possible, even out of the impossible. We can set about to feed those 5,000 with the limited resources we have at our disposal, because we are indeed blessed with that abundance of God. Jesus had indeed seen the possible because God was with him, and he set about to make the impossible possible. God is still with us today, endeavouring us through that life-giving Spirit, the Spirit that can energise and empower us also to do what we can in our world, perhaps even to make possible out of the impossible. That's all we have to do to continue to build our church in the Logan area, make the impossible possible, and all because we choose to act. And he saw the vision splendid of that sunlit plains extended, and at night the wondrous glory of the everlasting stars. This was Banjo Patterson's vision, a vision he proclaimed. What is our vision as people of faith today?